Hi there everyone, it's Gloria Kremer from Oakville, Canada, and today we're going to be making this cute little gatefold card. If you are a regular subscriber to my channel, you'll see that most my card kits are based on Stampin' Up! Bundles. And this card here, we're using the Tidings and Trimmings bundle from the new, I guess it's not even that new anymore, but it's from the Christmas mini catalog. So here are the stamps and dies that come with this set. So let's get started. Now what we have here is a regular size card base, except instead of scoring it down the middle for a traditional card at 4 1/4, we're scoring each end here at 2 1/8, and then we're folding it. So it's still a regular card base, except instead of scoring it down the middle, we're scoring it on the sides at 2 1/8 on this side and 2 1/8 on this side. And then we have our white insert for the inside, and that measures 4 by 5 1/4. So let's get started. Now with this card here, oh, and if you're new to my online classes, the kits, the physical kits, if you were interested, are on meetup.com, and you can find me under Oakville Creative Escapes. Now for this card, we're going to use the Versamark stamp pad. We're also going to use a white embossing powder and gold embossing powder. Now this piece here, I used the stitch shapes. It's the rectangles. And if you cut a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 3 3/4, it is just big enough to cut this out. So with one sheet of cardstock, you would be able to cut 8 of these, which is perfect with very minimal waste. So let's get started. Now the DSP that I'm doing for my sample here is slightly different, but it's from the same collection. And it once finished, this card will look just as good as the sample I have here. So we're going to use the star stamp here from the stamp set. And then we're also going to use the sentiment from the stamp set, May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. And then as you can see on the inside, I stamped it as well. Now typically I wouldn't stamp a sentiment in red, because in the Asian culture, red is not a good color for sentiments. It's an angry color. So I'll make sure this goes to someone who isn't Asian. But I just thought it looked really nice with the contrast. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to stamp my white sentiment first. Again, we're going to use the Versamark ink. And if you have an embossing buddy, and I did have one, I just don't know where it is right this second. So we're not going to use our embossing buddy, and we're going to take our chances and hope that this turns out without too much little bits laying around. Hopefully my dogs will cooperate. We have 3 here today, 1 visiting from the US. So there's our white sentiment. We use our white powder, sprinkle this on, give it a little tap. And I think most of that came off, so that's good. Now we're going to heat our heating tool. you'll know that it's ready when the white powder turns nice and shiny. So our next step is going to be stamping our gold stars. And again, we're using the Versamark ink. If you have an embossing buddy, use that. It'll make your life a lot easier because then you won't have these little bits hanging around. And this time we're going to use the gold embossing powder. If you don't have gold at home, you can also use silver, or you can also use just white. I think these are my two most used colors, is the white and the gold. So again, give it a little tap to get all the extra powder off. And then again, we're going to heat it to melt this powder. And again, you'll notice once the powder is melted, it'll be nice and shiny. Okay, now our next step will be to mount our DSP onto these white strips here. And again, you can use, if you wanted to, you could use the other side, or you can use the white side. You know what? I think I'm going to use this green side. So let's do that. That's the great thing about DSP is you have two choices. You can either go with the more colorful side, or you can go with the more muted side. Now the card base color that I used is so soft succulent, and the dark green here is evening evergreen. Those are two of the new in colors that came out this year. Now again, you can use whatever colors you happen to have. But these two colors are great Christmas colors. And then we're going to take these strips now that we have them mounted, and we're going to mount it onto our panels here on the side. I believe this card is a simple gatefold card. I could be wrong with the style, but it's just a simple fun fold, just slightly different from your traditional everyday type of card. So how we're gonna do this piece here is I'm gonna take a pencil. I have a bunch of these mechanical pencils from the dollar store. I'm gonna center this as best I can. Then holding one side down, I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna draw a line down the middle. And this is how I know where I'm gonna be putting the adhesive. So I'm gonna put the adhesive here, making sure not to go across that line. And if you use Tombow glue, then you can sort of move it around a little when you're mounting it. So there we have it. There's our piece there. And then we're gonna attach the inside of our card. But before we attach that, I'm just gonna do a little bit of stamping. This time I'm just gonna stamp the sentiment. And we're gonna use the Evening Evergreen. I'm just gonna tap it lightly. And then put it down. It's perfect. Now, since I have the star out, I think I'm gonna stamp a couple of stars on the inside. Stamp one here. And stamp one here. Now we're gonna mount this on the inside of our card. Let's do a little. And we're just gonna eyeball it. It's about 1/8 of an inch all around. Once you've made enough cards, you can eyeball it pretty good. So that is almost done. I'll show you our original there. We're going to glue on our bow. So one of the things you get when you get my kits is bows that are already tied for you. So we're going to attach this with glue dots. And you can do it off to the side. You can do it up here if you wanted. So let's put it up on this one up here. And then we're going to take these matted metallic dots also from the new catalog. And we're going to add these to our card. And then we're all done. So here is our finished cards. And this was card number 3 from our series. We have one more card coming, and that is this twist and pop card So stay tuned and I will show you how to make this card. So happy Saturday and I'll see you soon.